Hello and welcome to Kamen Rider Blackman, where it's our 5-year anniversary!
Yeah! You fucking rule! Fucking rule! Yeah!
Yes, I am standing because I cannot contain my excitement, because woo! 5 years, 5 straight years. Oh my god, you guys remember when I had dreads? You guys remember when I cut them off? Quick piece of trivia right now. What was the video where I first had my dreads cut off in? You have to guess in the comments down below, and you cannot cheat. Whoever gets the answer right, I will leave you a shout out in my next video. But wow, 5 years, 5 straight years of doing this. Thank you all for watching. Thank you to those who have been here since the jump, or anyone that's just new. Oh my god, 5 years of straight up doing this. Oh my god, I got a 5. Oh god, I have something in my eye. Anywho, to celebrate today, I did say we would be looking at the original Kamen Rider. Sort of. Like, I did say we would be looking at the original Kamen Rider, and we are. Sort of. Okay, long story short, I did not finish the original Kamen Rider show, but do not be upset with me. I'm like somewhere in the 70s now, plus I'm skipping around. But to still come through on my word, we will be talking about the original Kamen Rider in a way, specifically in something that came out just this year. So, to celebrate 5 years of Kamen Rider Blackman, we will be reviewing the Shin Kamen Rider movie. Everyone sit tight, enjoy, let's have some fun. Yeah, unfortunately, the review is going to be recording because shit happens, but we can still have fun. So, let's start off with the very beginning of this movie, which is basically like the first episode of the original Kamen Rider. There's a motorcycle chase, and then boom, Kamen Rider shows up. But it's kind of conjointed in a way, because yeah, first we get a motorcycle chase, but instead of just Hongo alone for this motorcycle chase, it's Hongo and Ruriko. And then, well, actually how this transition happens too is crazy as hell, because they crash, but then all of a sudden, well, they crash and both are fine. Like I said, weird. But then Kamen Rider appears. Now, what's so funny? Okay, one of the funniest things from this movie are the effects. Starting off with the gore, because this movie has no problem with it. It's not that gore is bad, and in here it's that it's instant. Like, watching this movie for the first time, seeing Ichigo instantly punch people to death, it's shocking because the blood comes out right away afterwards. And it's actually pretty funny in hindsight. I definitely wouldn't recommend watching that while eating, because I was editing this earlier and I almost thought I was going to throw up during lunch. But it's just so funny that this big Japanese Hollywood budget movie, it's using it's on the same level of effects as a YouTube fan of film. And now, while we're still on the effects, let's talk about the cinematography and the CGI. The cinematography, same thing. It's funny when things are sped up. Like, but the CGI along with it is just, it's priceless. Like, the CGI doesn't look bad. It's kind of like I'm watching a Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie. But I think what highlights how hilarious it is when Ichigo and Nigo are fighting, and both are jumping into the air, and it turns into a battle from Dragon Ball Z. Like, both are just going back and forth, 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 throwing punches and kicks. Go back down to the ground, jump back up into the air, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's just hilarious. So, let's get to talking about Ichigo now, because he is a different kind of being instead of a cyborg. He's referred to in this movie as an AUG. Now, for what an AUG is, it's kind of like Kamen Rider Black, where he's part mechanical and part organic, because underneath his rider suit, he has like the body of a grasshopper. And I say that's like Black because that's sort of is. Like, when transforming at least, Black starts off in that grasshopper form and then goes into his rider form. Though for that, I'm not too sure if the grasshopper body is exposed in some areas of the suit. But that's kind of the case for Ichigo, with the organic biological side covered up by the, well, more metallic mechanical side for combat. Speaking of which, the transformation abilities between Ichigo and Nigo in this movie are through their helmets. Their belts, the Typhoons, instead are used as power generators to collect power. And frankly, that's a bit interesting with how different that is. Like, I don't know, I guess it's just so different seeing the Typhoon, like, not do so many functions like most belts, or at least back then would. But at least spreads out their arsenal. Especially, and also, think about the helmets too. I never realized how exposed the neck was looking at the helmet. But that hence why for the scarf. But furthermore on that helmet, it is like the fact that the mouth, when you open the helmet wide, you can see a person's face. Maybe they want to take advantage of that potentially for later, or if that's just straight up what they were going for, since the material for the helmet and how it was built. But kudos for being different. And this part, the indication of death in this movie, instead of blowing up monsters, we gotta see them turn into bubbles and disintegrate. Good gracious. Yeah, it's from the original show too, but come on. It's just so silly and ridiculous. At least in the movie they have a reason, because Shocker is not a well-known organization, so they try to keep things low-key. So, how they were designed, if an AUG was to die, they would die like that, turn into bubbles and disintegrate. Since anyone could see or hear an explosion and wonder where it came from. I understand why, but it's still just silly. And so, another one of my favorite things about this movie is how dark the characters are, and the fact that they have some depth. I think compared to the originals like Hongo and Tachibana, we like them for how much time we spend with them and even see a bit of their personalities. But here, it's nice that we see actual depth with these characters. And I think the one character with the most depth in this is Ruriko. Now, Ruriko is the daughter of the professor that recruited Hongo into Shocker to become a cyborg. But once the professor, of course, realized that Shocker was evil, he's entrusted Hongo to take care of his daughter. And his daughter is also an android, completely familiar with Shocker's, well, plans and ideas and, I guess, data and whatnot, since she was also a part of Shocker, but defected, of course, because they're evil. But Ruriko gets shit done. She is not afraid to plan against and conspire to go after a monster and can hold her own. Like, literally, when she was facing the Bat-Og, she pretended to be I guess, abducted and under mind control by the monster until she exposed that she had a MacGuffin device with her and was pretending the entire time just to get an antidote. Hell, she even weakens the monster some before Ichigo could kill it by shooting at it. The girl gets work done, and it's sweet. And for other characters in this movie too, there's Tachibana and Taki. And instead of being part of Interpol, both Tachibana and Taki both are a part of the Anti-Shocker Alliance. And they team up with Hongo and Ruriko with taking down Shocker. And are quite effective at it too, as we see in the movie. And so, I guess now we can talk about... Well, Hongo I can explain a bit more later, and will, while talking about this movie. Let's get to talking about Shocker in this. Shocker in this... I forgot the original acronym for Shocker, but in this movie, Shocker's acronym is Sustainable Happiness Organization with Computational Knowledge Embedding Remodeling. Shocker is straight up a cult. And just, let's go to the very beginning first with Shocker and how it came up. Like, instead of originating from Nazis, this Shocker was brought up first as a tech company researching AI technology, even creating a stand-in for this movie's interpretation of the Great Leader. Seeing the potential for human cyborg remodification, the leader of said company ordered the AI to see through his ambitions of remodified humans right before he commits suicide. And I think he did that so that he wouldn't be arrested for the crimes Shocker will commit in the future. Yeah. For happiness, Shocker is a straight up cult. Like, I'm not gonna lie, Shocker is a straight up cult. People in Shocker are straight up sociopaths, and they revel in being different and take joy in causing despair. Like, straight up, the best example of this is with my favorite monster in this movie, the Wasog, because it was a former friend of Ruriko's, and when they go up to face the Wasog next, Ruriko, straight up, even the Wasog can tell Ruriko did not want to confront her like this. Like, she would rather the Wasog just defect just like her. But the Wasog was so jaded, it wanted to tear her friend down. It goes to show how influential Shocker is, because as much as they were good friends, she was too far gone to save. But just, oh my god. The Wasog was so awesome. She was a badass bitch who had all the swords and wanted to slash everything with a smile. Like, she was straight up Kill Bill. Oh my god. Like, the Wasog was straight up the movie Kill Bill. Just, woo. She was my favorite because I loved how crazy she was. And so, this movie, it's... Oh, crap, I lost track for a moment. Okay, here I am now. I'm sorry, just thinking about the Wasog. She was just so awesome. I loved her. But yeah, moving on. One downside I will say about this movie is that it does seem to pan around because... Let's see. It's just after the Spider-Og is killed, we go from monster to monster watching Kamen Rider beat them. Like, it's as if I'm watching the original show, just waiting for Hayato to show up. And that's literally what happens here. And speaking of which, let's talk about Kamen Rider Nigo's introduction. He is what Hongo was supposed to be. A grasshopper Og, mind-controlled to work for Shocker. I would have rather, because we do see him at first, pretty early on before now, where we're talking about, but it's just a cameo. I would have rather Nigo have been active early on, and then we reach that point where Ruriko erases the brainwashing on him, which she does do. She even gives him a red scarf too, also declaring him a Kamen Rider. But, ooh, let's talk about that red scarf for a minute. That red scarf, which she apparently has multiple ones on her, that's that movie's sign of a hero. And apparently to her, superheroes seem to wear red and no other colors. I watched this movie with my friend Thomas, and he said, well, not Batman, Superman wears red. And I was just thinking, what about Batman? Or the Incredible Hulk? Literally any other superhero that does not wear red. But with Ruriko, I'm going to talk more about this too, but with Ruriko, so this movie goes Gel Shocker and it has a fusion monster kill Ruriko. Like, the kaijin that kills her is a fusion between a praying mantis and a chameleon, and it was stalking our heroes up to now and decided to kill Ruriko for her defection. I cannot tell you just how much I was sad. My face dropped like a rock seeing her get offed like that. Not only did I just see her get off like that, while dying, Hongo is holding her in her arms as she prepares to die, gives the last of her energy to her, and it just goes to show, oh my god, the chemistry that Ruriko and Hongo have in this movie, phenomenal. It's developed as it does progress in small ways. Like, yeah, they're allies, but they're all each other have. They're all that they both... you know what I mean. They're all that they both have in this conflict. Since, well, Ruriko at least looks at Tachibana and Taki with a side eye. For their camaraderie, while not long, they do, it's like it progresses in small steps at their own pace to bring down certain boundaries because of how close they get with each other. And that's nice. And while we're still on it with Ruriko, she is that sole inspiration for creating a Kamen Rider, because from what flashbacks and memories she does have in her data banks, like, her father was a motorcycle rider, hence why I guess Hongo was picked out and why for the scarf. Like, small little seeds like that are what creates the visual effect, the visual look of a Kamen Rider. Holy shit, and it's lit. And then she dies. She was so awesome. She dies, and oh my god, speaking out of dark humor when I say this, the moment she immediately dies and Hongo is about to cry, I said out loud with Thomas right next to me, skip to the ending, let's find Shocker, bomb them. Jokingly, I say that, like, just find Shocker, just let him on fire, take a chair, destroy everything. Let's just The revenge! Revenge! Oh my god. But god. Let's actually get to talking about Hongo now. Throughout this movie, he's been naive, but not naive. Because he's of course shocked at being a Ognow with the fact that he actually killed people. The fact that he's literally strong enough to easily kill people. It frightens him. But he knows when to get over that and do what needs to be done, even if it means dirtying his hands. And apparently for why he became an Og 2, why the professor chose him, it all goes back to a time where Hongo's dad, who was a police officer, he died in the line of duty trying to subdue a perp with a hostage. He got close, but ended up getting shot. And Hongo was there. He even runs to his dad's corpse. And literally in his mind, and even now, he thought to himself, if only I was strong enough, if only I could have done more to save my dad. Like, I completely get him and why he thinks that. On the other hand, too, he's a civilian, and it's like, well, obviously, cops aren't just going to let civilians deal with hostage-taking criminals. But I get where he's coming from. He would want to be strong enough, powerful enough to protect his dad, who by all accounts was a great guy. And honestly, all because he was a cop. I give him credit. I liked it. So now, let's go ahead to the final battle, and this movie's, I guess, big boss, the Butterfly Og, who is Ruriko's brother, and also becomes Kamen Rider number 0. Apparently, he's based off of Inazuman, to which, okay. Little Shadow Moon a bit in the helmet, but alright, sure. But that final battle, and oh my god, that final battle just had so much heart in it. All the heart in the world. Just Ichigo and Nigo going to fight that boss, to which automatically is awesome, because even when watching the original show right now, which I am doing, I like the episodes where it's Ichigo and Nigo together, because it just goes to show if one enemy is not enough, maybe 2 should be enough to save the day. And when they fight, it's brutal and awesome. And it's full of heart, because how they beat the Butterfly Og is through, how to describe it? Haito goes in to distract him, while Hongo goes in to knock number 0's helmet off, to throw his helmet on him, to show the memories that Ruriko had of him and their family, of all the happy times they had together. Because all of this spawned from the Butterfly Og's mom getting killed in a senseless act of violence. And that's what started the Butterfly Og's, crusade. Showing that this isn't what Ruriko would want. And showing how she would just want her brother back. All she ever wanted was a family. And her brother is part of that family. All she would want is just for him to be okay. This was not a final battle where it was a matter of having to just ultimately kill the final boss. This was a battle of bringing them down, because they know the bad guy is not a bad guy. And it's emotional. It's so emotional. It's so emotional, and it works. It totally works. But that's not all. Even with the butterfly Og now surrendered, he dies, and Ichigo dies too. I did not expect that at all. Nigo is literally the last one standing from that battle. And Hongo leaves the fate of the world and the war against Shocker all to him. Heavy. Very, very heavy. So, I actually want to talk about Hayato a bit in this movie. Cool guy. He's like the original Nigo from the show, with, I want to say, a bit more depth to him too, for the short time that we see him. He's a much looser person than Hongo, with heart to him. Like, he's a lone wolf kind of guy that does not like to be alone all the time. And shoot, even when Hongo dies, he's alone. Or is alone until Tachibana and Taki come to recruit him to help them defeat Shocker. To which instantly joins up because, once again, like the show, when Hayato comes in, it's him, Tachibana, and Taki to take on Shocker. But yeah, Nigo is going to step up and and continue what Ichigo left out for him, but not without getting a new suit first and a new helmet, since his broke, and so he just had Ichigo's from the conflict, and it was a bit wrecked. So yeah, gets a new suit, looks a lot brighter, new helmet, glorious. And honest to God, I actually do like that there is an explanation for why he gets an upgraded look. He just asked for it. That's all I wanted. Just an explanation. Because in the show, no explanation whatsoever. He just has a new suit now. And even in the show, they go back and forth between what suits they have. It's just, here, an explanation for a new look. So, Nigo takes over, and inside that helmet too, everyone's in there. Hongo, Ruriko, even the butterfly hog. But most importantly, Hongo's there. And he will even tell Hayato he's not alone. As Kamen Rider Nigo takes over. That is Shin Kamen Rider. This movie was tight. It was so tight. This movie almost made me cry. It made me laugh my butt off. And I appreciate the characters like hell. I'm almost a little sad I didn't watch this movie when it came out. But if I didn't, I wouldn't be reviewing it right now. This movie is so awesome. Hell, Thomas thought I wouldn't like this movie because our friend John didn't like it. But looking back on it, I even said it. This movie's awesome. Why did you think I wouldn't like it? It's so hilarious at times. But I love everything with this. It's an updated version of the original that's just badass. Everything is so dope in this. Oh my god. Ruriko, the shit. Just, that set alone, Ruriko is the shit. Like, she is the woman of the year. Let's clap for her. Awesome. So, oh my god, this movie, I do like this movie. I definitely do recommend it. This is another movie from 2023 that I love to hell, right next to Once and Always. It's that great. Oh my god. So, with that said, that's the review part. So now, you guys stay here, stay where you are, while I go back to showing picture. Woo! Okay. So, that was fun. I cannot wait to see how I sound in editing this because I felt my excitement, and I still do in my, well, at the bottom of my throat. But that was the review. That's the video, which stay, we're not done yet. Let me say some parting words. 5 years of doing this channel. I have fun with this. I literally have fun with this. And thank God this year I do not have any tooth problems like I did last year. Because, dear Lord in Christ, it bugged me the whole weekend. But here, this was nice. I'm so thankful that I managed to get this in when I could. Because I know tomorrow I'm going to work like hell to get this out. But this is just awesome. I love doing this. I like being able to actually review tokusatsu and share my opinions how I can. Whether by you seeing my face or me just, well, in a recording. Either way, I get my opinions out how I can. And, I have fun. I know I definitely didn't have any fun this weekend working on Geats because, once again, editing problems like a motherfucker. Hopefully I can try to get that out soon, but thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for liking. Thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you for watching. This is fun. Honestly, I really do just... This is awesome. But, thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video. Tell your friends about Kamen Rider Blackman. Please. I have more fun stuff in mind to do. And happy anniversary. Here's the 5 years.